Hello, Baby Gangstas. This is Calvin, also known as Romer, and this is the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. This is my first ever playthrough of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I don't think there's much left in this trial. Gregson, I think, is about to have a tiny bit of a confession to make. Now, I said that I lost all hope with Gregson and lost all respect for him. I understand that he had to do something for his, that was confidential. But obviously that doesn't matter to us because we just got to get the truth out. And if he held that confidential information, a young woman would have been put in prison. Likely worse for the rest of her life. Yeah, she'd be dead. Oh, dude. Stop, what are you doing, man? It's all exactly as young Eastern lawyer said. When the trial resumed after the recess, and we were stood right in this stand together. That's when he approached me with the deal. Shut up, you imbecile. Shut up. Stop. That slap on the table. You, shut up. Psst, you there. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbrokery the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector. With me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept. All information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public indeed. I couldn't let that information become public knowledge. Not under any circumstances. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case. That should have put him in the clear. The people on the storeroom door and the bloodstains on the overcoat. By giving false testimony, this witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that. Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate the witness's perjury. I did. But it turned out the people had only been made that night, after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest. Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime, namely this. You were the third intruder who broke into the pawnbrokery the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor of Mr. Pop Windybank. You. Are we having the breakdown? Oh my god, here it is! Traitor! Oh my god, oh no! No. Jesus. That is brutal. He's feeling that for weeks after that. Bailiff, restrain that man at once. Jesus Christ, dude. That's it then. It's all over. I despise my life growing up. Those slums are vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty. The son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me. So I set about studying. To better myself. To one day escape from that hellhole. And you eventually became a communications officer. Oh, sorry. I eventually became a communication officer. I admire your determination. Okay. Right, I understand we're in sad mode right now. But dude, like, you could say this could you say this to Gina as well? Like, I think it would actually do a lot for her self-esteem to have a person who is in this high regard say to her, like, you grew up without parents. And you're still freaking alive. Not only that, but like you were honest in this case. You've been through a lot. You've been almost threatened into lying in a court case. You know, you've been through a lot. I think it would mean the world for her to know that some people are looking out for her. I think too often when it comes to kids, we think about how they did or how they are now when they're like 27 or 28 or 30. Man, you turned out okay. It's like, that's great. But like, if you can touch their lives at that age, if you can say to them that like you're doing great now, I know it's difficult sometimes to even come into to whatever you're going. That's me thinking that's because I'm a teacher, thinking in the space of school. You know what I mean? I know it's difficult to even do this, but you did the hard part, which is even showing up to live. It can be freaking difficult sometimes, and I don't know. I just don't think we should be giving the man who murdered a lot praise for trying to dob someone else in. And I understand the message that is here. It's actually really, really great, by the way, which is this man who went through so much in a similar way that Gina went through. They had both similar lives growing up. They both were pickpockets. They both were like kind of thieves. They kind of went around those packs, kind of like the Skulkin brothers did. But he used his... Instead of getting out of this, which he did, and using to maybe help other people, he instead used it to pull someone else down onto the water as well. He was about to ruin a person's life, and it makes me very sad and upset because it is at that stage in life, especially at such a young age, such a young woman, that anyone throwing her a lifeline would have meant the fucking world. And I'm sorry for swearing, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And I think you should... I hope he still does. I hope someone praises Gina. I hope Gina gets apologies from everyone in here. Because already this is going to affect her for the rest of her life, being accused by a bunch of adults of murder. And I'm hoping that, like, Runo, Rinosuke, and Iris, and Shomes, all of us supporting her, and Susato all supporting her, means a lot to her. But then you decide to try sell government secrets? I don't care about the government secrets aspect as much as I do dobbing in a young woman like that. And it's not about the woman part, by the way. It's someone who, like, is vulnerable. Extremely vulnerable. And society has already kicked to the curb. And now he is making this thing where it's making it worse for her. Really, it's not only his fault. It's the fact that this can be done so easily to a young girl like that. And again, I say young girl, I'm just saying because she is a young girl. It can happen to boys as well. It can happen to anyone. But she is so vulnerable. Yeah, I have no sympathy for you, buddy. I'm so sorry. Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Exactly. There it is. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in small hours. And yes, this is freaking heartbreaking. Because anyone who's gone through money problems knows that what it's like to, like, not have it and to then have it. It is on your mind all the time, even if you're not a money-grubbing person or a person who, like, is addicted to, like, making more money. Even now, because I grew up, I can say it, I grew up, not in a well-to-do family. I can say that when I got a job and I started getting paid, you think about every penny you're getting. You think about every cent because you're like, man, this is how I can stretch €10 into this. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to drown them out with more money than anyone who lived in the squalor ever could imagine. Then one day I met him. Mr. Magnus McGilded. This guy's a proper scumbag, isn't he? Proper. You're a fair queen with a queer talent, you are. I've money to throw you away for interest. You're a fair... a fiend. A fiend, by the way, not queen. A fiend is basically a boy. It is a traditional Irish way of saying a boy. You would say your girlfriend is your Bure and your boyfriend is your fiend. All you need to do is go along with me. A little plan now. I love saying, like, Bure is, like, yeah, and it's not a disrespectful term at all. It's literally just like, you're my Bure. You're my fiend. It just means you're my girl. You're my man. That's why I always like using the word Bure. It can be used in derogatory term. You can't be like, oh, geez, she's some Bure, which means she's, some woman, like, as to steal the ministry's telegraphic message logs, McGill would buy them from a handsome sum. As I was responsible for inspections in the ministry's communication office, it was a simple enough task. The lure of the devil's offerings. How easy it is to succumb. But you surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you're committing. And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. By using the music box. This is a great track. My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child. Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton. And he is a victim, by the way, of the way that there is a class divide, especially there's a class divide now, but there's a class divide even back at this time, man. Because, a class divide at this stage meant, you weren't living to a certain age. You know what I mean? That's what it meant. And he's a victim of that too. He is, of course he is. And I'm not trying to say he isn't. That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker apprentice. I imagine his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. So I sought out my father again to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier. Beautiful art. Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you've become. Oh, that's depressing. He was a different man to the one in my memory. A thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him. Never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason, so I made up a story. I've got some work for you, father. I need a music box discs made. Music box discs, eh? A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. Oh, sorry, I brought the score with me. There are two, actually. I'd be delighted. Oh, I'd be delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch my tools, would you? They're in the loft. That's how I had to make 2 discs. Thereby splitting the information in 2. You were taking considerable cautions indeed. I was protecting myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGilded in 2 separate transactions. The first involved the first of 2 discs and the music box playing them. I exchanged them with McGilded for 10 guineas. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas. So what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? Was the second part of the deal the exchange of the second disc? Yes. I'd sold the man information that way a number of times already. But it seems he became reluctant to part with his money. But that doesn't quite make sense, Mr. Graydon. For why was on the omnibus 2 months ago? Your father, Mr. Milverton, the one dealing with the McGilded and not yourself. When I received 1,000 guineas after my first complete dealings with McGilded, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realized something was amiss. In time he worked out I must be involved in something dubious, and when he did, he said to me, "Next time there's an exchange, you'll let your old man do." Oh my god. Otherwise I won't take your money anymore. That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb onto the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from McGilded. That's it. Oh my god. This, again, okay, I have, factually so, gotten flack in the past for feeling sorry for villains. Okay? I know I said I wasn't going to feel sorry for him. He still did what he did, and still what he did was horrible. And it was horrific. And especially the Gina to Mr. Windybank. But if I could say as well that, how this must make you feel knowing that you are the one who basically was responsible for the death of your own father. I couldn't handle it. Just like I'll never know why everything went so... I got flack for feeling sorry for a villain in Trials and Tribulations, even though she was, at the time when she was unwell in the brain, very much so, and for me, no one ever tried to truly help her. She was also abused. Yeah, just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that this was taken from him, and he never returned home. It was only then that I found out what sort of a monster McGilded really was. So after 10 years of not uttering it, I swore on my father's name. To exact revenge. Revenge? As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of a man will no doubt be able to imagine, McGilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. That trial 2 months ago was a farce from the start to finish. My feet had barely touched the British soil back then, and I walked into that hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background to it all. I'd made plenty of money out of my dealings with McGilded by then, so I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in the city willing to do anything you ask. McGilded himself had shown me that. Are you saying that? I think you have a picture now. After he twisted everything to his favor in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free, I took matters in my own hand and delivered the justice the monster deserved. Whoa, you killed McGilded? The tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly. McGilded's death that day was caused by this man. Are you joking? That was him?
What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner I was led to believe.
I hope it's not an inconvenience, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
So that policeman who came to tell McGilded he could examine the omnibus again. That's right. An imposter. Oh, it wasn't him. Okay. I just did the voice for fun. McGilded used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. So I gave him out a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, once my sham police ushered the McGilded inside, I sent him on a one-way journey to hell. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death. A spine-chilling account indeed. But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see. A loose end? Yes. I should think it obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with Mr. McGilded. Ah, yes. There was indeed no mention of this man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because I'd been removed from the scene of the crime. When I realized it was missing, I remember something. Something from the first time I dealt with Mr. McGilded. The art style is incredible. This is the first of 2 discs, and the music box you need to play them.
Well, look at that now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as a promise, 10 guineas for you, young man. What's this? Windybank's pawnbrokery? Aye, too, 'tis a pawnbroker's ticket. So it is. You can use it to redeem an article I've deposited there for you. There's no need to give a name. Just hand over the ticket and tell the fiend to watch a word. I put your jewel in the pawn for you. It'll fetch 10 guineas if you sell it, so it will.
I've never heard of a pawnbroker being used quite this way before.
Have you not, Mr. Graydon? London's pawnbrokers are very useful places, you know. Each one is like an extremely secure vault.
He's such an evil man. So I know that you've taken steps to hide the disc. You'll be in that pawnbrokery somewhere. And on that night he killed my father, he must have entrusted the ticket to someone. Yes, to Gina. Remember now. That was the first day we met you at Windybank's afternoon 2 days ago. You had a description of Mrs. Stray written down. How did you know who you were looking for? From the trial, that pickpocket's testimony. was clearly peculiar. Anyone could see that. I realized immediately she was another of McGilded's pawns, that he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced it would be her who had the ticket, so I started to make some inquiries. I had a strong suspicion the girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline. And he was absolutely right. And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was wait until the girl went to Windybags to redeem the article. But unfortunately, she redeemed only McGilded's overcoat, and the one disc was in its pocket. The all-important music box in the second disc inside was missing, because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier. But I was unaware of that fact. Had I not been, I could have avoided my nighttime excursion. Meanwhile, as our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing, we picked up the fact that McGilded was involved. Inspector, you've recovered fast. My orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible, so we started gathering the fellow's possessions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could. Then when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbroker that day, I became nervous. I was sure the music box and the second disc was still in the shop somewhere. So I knew it was a race against time. I had to find those articles before the police did. So that's what prompted you to break into the place that same night. With the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers. What happened that night at the pawnbrokery? I can only describe as a nightmare. While Nash and Ringo were searching the counter, I'd located the music box I'd sold to McGilded on the shelves of the forfeited articles. And the second disc was inside. Yes. I slipped into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. But then, something entirely unexpected happened. What are you doing in my shop? Ah. A gunshot rang out in the shop and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm. The broker fired his gun and the bullet pierced your limb. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own gun with me. I decided to bring my own, unfortunately, gun with that night just in case. Before I knew what was happening, I'd fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in this direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. I struck him in the middle of his back and fled through the storeroom door of the refuge. Sorry tale. It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash and Ringo even realized what happened at first. I was terrified. So I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at Windybanks on the wretched night. Gina's innocent. Gina's well innocent. Really well written, by the way. Everything fits perfectly like a good jigsaw. Everything's so quiet. Everything's so quiet. Elio called McGilded a monster. A man who uses wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice. Oh, he's about to say some facts. What tragic irony. Yep. For what you have done is exactly the same. Yep, and you're about to send Gina to prison. To death. She was going to die. You become the very monster. You saw. I despise so deeply in McGilded. Yes, I think I have. Whoa. Yeah, it's Oh, this music's so good. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, I feel like, you know, he's become the monster that he wanted to fight against. He didn't do anything to help the course of justice, and in fact, like, put someone like Gina, like, you know, through a lot. It hurts to even hear it. This has been a long and exhausting trial. However, it would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what of Mr. Ashley Graydon? He's been restrained, my lord, and is being escorted to the yard. So is Mr. Skulkin, me, and the jury members who have all lied this whole case. He'll be charged with the murder of Mr. Windybank and the stealing of government secrets. Very good. And you, Inspector, regrettably, you will have to face charges yourself. Oh, I was right. Yes, my lord. Of course. It transpires that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. That fact remains whether or not you were doing so in the line of duty. The crime is a serious one, Inspector. And excuse me, is it perverting? Preventing the course of justice? And what else would it be? Perjury. And it was seen as an accomplice as well to murder. He would be like, right? Not an accomplice to murder, but like I don't know what you call it when you helped him afterwards. Like, yeah, like kind of like a complicit. Now to venomous Gina Lestray. Say something nice to her. I will literally go up there. I will go up there and dance on you. It's time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Yes, sir. Garrity Squadron standing by, sir. This is really it now. I dislike you a lot. The last push, the final call, the finishing whistle. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts. Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now declare your final decisions to the court.
Not guilty.
Oh, really?
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 Not guilty.
How you doing, bro? I just realized that fire is like a low-res real fire. It's like a real fire. That's the stuff. I'm off the hook. Our girl Gina. Finally, Bruno, you finally managed to do it. Finally is the word. I really wasn't sure if you'd come out on top for a while there. Susie was right. You're the best lawyer in the world. Miss Lestray, I'm not finished with you. Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? She was threatened. I swear to God if she gets any charges. Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider. You were so freaking wrong and you gave out your whole trial. If you didn't, oh my God, I'm going to murder. And before someone says, oh, Calvin, she still committed a crime. Here's what I'm going to say to you right now, right? She was threatened with her life. Terrified. Absolutely terrified. Look at me in the figurative eyes and tell me, do you think that it is okay to send this young girl to prison for a long time for mistakes that were made? Mr. Windbank knew she was making a mistake. We knew she'd made a mistake. Mr. McGilded is a manipulative monster. We've established this. She was caught up in all of this. I swear to Christ. And I don't even worship Christ now. I swear to him. Huh? 2 months ago in my courtroom, no less, you gave a false testimony, did you not? I wonder who else would do that, Judge? Who else would do that? Who else would do that? It's crazy, isn't it? Hard to believe that someone would give a false testimony in your court, of all places. Sacred hollow ground, Mr. Frickin' Santa Claus Judge's court. In relation to the trial today, not only did you involve Andrew Winnieback's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. Gilden's property, it seems. Oh God, she tried to take McGilden's property. I've never done nothing of the sort. Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing McGilden's coat yourself. You shut the hell up, Renosuke. Aw, just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Gina's evening. We are throwing a party for Gina's evening. If I have to commit a crime to get her out of here, we'll go back to Japan. And turn our attention to the defense. Determined that when played together, the music boxes contains a message of Morse code was, well, it was completely unexpected revelation, counsel. Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today. I propose a toast. I'll give the toast to Gina. Again, she needs it more than me. To demanding the government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom. Ah. Very sorry about that. Sorry. About that. It was the only way I could get the Inspector Gregson to admit what he'd done, so... If I may say something on that point. Isn't that... It's, about the sounds produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that really... What? If what? Oh, well, it's just, I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much so that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact.
Goodness, madam, an unhealthy level of obsession feels...
One feels.
But I must say, in my opinion, the sounds produced by those two discs were nothing more than that. A meaningless series of two different tones. What? What? Can that really be? It wasn't Morse code after all?
Doesn't change a thing.
My lord, the defense would like to listen to music box again.
Are you off your nut? How many times do I have to tell you you disc contains ministerial secrets, sunshine?
This courtroom is not appropriate forum to discuss the nature of government communications. We know McGilda conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies. Secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now that the man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue the matters further.
It's really gonna bother me.
Mr. Stray?
Yeah, my lord?
That which you have seen today in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing.
Falsified evidence, imitation, perjury, a grim catalogue of depravity.
An appalling experience for any child. Exactly!
Come on, ain't nothing I didn't see most days in the back slums.
I beg your pardon?
If you're weak, you pay for it.
That's just how life goes. You shouldn't have to be so strong, though. You shouldn't have to be. My girl, you should not have to be.
But look, I reckon I've worked something out today. The world ain't fair, but if you wanted to change, you gotta start out. You gotta change how you are yourself.
That is a lesson that she should live by, but also the world is literally dragging her down and has drug her down for years. I don't want her first response to this trial to be, I should change.
Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I would say.
Maybe the lesson is, she's right, old people suck! I look forward to boning it, and I'm old too, so.
Mr. Straight, never grace my courtroom with our presence again.
That's the lesson. I'm so angry. With regard to the murder of Pop Wienerbank, proprietor of Homburg and Business Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant, Mr. Gina Stray, not guilty. Took you long enough, Santa Claus. Took you long enough. Oh, confetti. Drop it. Ooh. Go on, Gina! Okay, now she's going to prison. She fired off a firework in the courtroom. That is all. Court is adjourned. I hope I never see your face again. I'm just being honest. Oh, wow. Look at this. On a personal note, I must say you've surprised me, my Far Eastern friend. Oh! Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within the Englishman. Well, it's not that hard to see through it. I mean, like, your whole court case and court system is based upon a bubble that you live in. So I wouldn't really worry too much about that. And that at the same time saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially consider our very different cultures. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether we're from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings. We're not so very different on the inside. Fact about it. Like, you celebrate your cultures and you celebrate your differences, but like the things that make us human are the stuff that we're all made of. You know? You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again here in the courtroom. You did? When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me of toasting friendship and a trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hope I looked into your eyes, the man I once knew, and tried to understand. You mentioned something similar earlier today about total betrayal at the hands of a Japanese. What happened exactly? I don't know if I need to know. Well, you may ask. And one day, when the time comes, you will learn the answer.
You know who it is? It's Mustache Boy. Is he still here in the people section?
He's not there in the people section. It was the guy, it's the mustache lad.
Alright then. I'll wait for that day if I must.
How are you not drunk? Comes to be known as the Reaper of the Bailey, and my retirement from the service 5 years ago. It gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my learned Nipponese friend, fellow, until we meet again. Wow. There it is. A fantastic, wait, is it, there's probably like a scene right after this. Yep. Really fantastic. I love the end of this trial. 17th of April, 5:24 p.m., the Old Bailey. Defendant's antechamber. It's done. It's over last. That was a long trial. I feel like that trial was like 10 hours. But where's Iris disappeared to? Ah! Congratulations, Gina. I knew it all along. I knew that you were innocent.
Well, you did what you said, Mr. Naruto. You believed in me right up to the end. You're as old as your name.
What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I?
No one has ever, as before, kept a promise on me properly.
Again, this is going to mean a lot to her. Like I said, that's awful.
I'll figure something out today. All my life growing up in the slums, I've never trusted no one. But that's just because I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down.
Fact. Very true, Gina. Very true. Yes, I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste of it in the trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. You know, though, Gina, I worked something out quite recently too. Trusting in someone else is really an exercise in learning to trust yourself. And when your gut tells you it's the right thing to do and your trust is rewarded, there's no better feeling in the world. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson.
Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make a fat lot of sense to me, though.
I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, has been a real pleasure.
For crying out loud, pack it in.
I think every Ace Attorney game you make a connection to some characters. I don't know what it is that made me have such a connection towards Gina. I know maybe it has to something maybe to do with being in education, working with kids, you know, just a year younger than her, really. Just immediately wanting what was best for her. But I suppose I sort of feel the same way.
I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, alright.
Thanks. This is the way I see it. Ryunosuke. Cosmo. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Kazuma, am I living up to your expectations? Probably you exceeding them. Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be? Pardon the interruption. Who's interrupting?
Wait, hold on a second. Sorry, hold on a second. Can I check that this is...
Wait, that was longer than 3 minutes? That flew by so fast. Sorry, I just want to see this really quickly, guys. No, he was not. He swapped with him. Okay, good, good. I felt like I was going crazy. But what to do does a man have to be noticed around here, my dear fellow? Ah, that voice. It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruto. I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Yes, it was me all along, I would have said when you finally noticed me. But you people with your incessant babbling.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes.
Yes, it was me all along, you see. It's so funny how this guy has become like our best friend in England. Like, all of a sudden, he's our best friend. I'd assumed you'd take it back to the hospital, to be honest. Sorry, that was a different voice. Indeed, I was, but I managed to escape again. Oh. I am aware of one or two foibles that the doctor was tending to me. I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence.
How very above board.
But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruto. Your tireless efforts justly rewarded, I feel. Congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat to you.
Oh, thank you. Some great detective you are. Great at being cold as ice, maybe.
Have I irked you in some way, Mr. Stray?
Why you been having a snooze in your nice soft bed? Some of us been fighting for our lives.
Ah, well, that bullet did cause me to lose substantial amounts of blood, it's true. So I've indeed been feeling somewhat cold, not perhaps as cold as ice, but well. Have a feel.
Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Sholmes?
And in some way, I suppose, congratulations are in order for you too, Mr. Stray.
What's that supposed to mean? Why so half-hearted?
Well, naturally, it isn't my intention to alarm you, but... an acquittal in a trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious. Well done, Mr. Sholmes, not alarming her in the slightest.
Oh, the Reaper, you mean? Because anyone's found not guilty in the trial was working on winds up dead anyway, is that it?
The very point I was trying to make. As exemplified by the fate of Mr. McGilded, in fact. Ah, but of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself.
Yeah, well, it don't bother me.
Oh, really?
Of course not. The way I see it, the Reaper's a bit like I'm upstairs.
Him upstairs? You mean like God? Him upstairs.
Yeah, him upstairs, he knows what's right. He knows what people are like on the inside. He might have got the wrong end of the stick. There's some cows like that bog trotter will rotten to the core. At the end of the day, him upstairs makes sure they get what they deserve.
I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing, though. The Reaper taking matters in his own hands and claiming lives is another.
Well, I ain't like the McGildeds of this world, so I ain't scared. I got principles, see?
A trait in which you wish to be admired, Mr. Stray.
Or just give a rest, alright?
As I was saying, congratulations are in order. The news of your acquittal was very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina.
Well, there you are, Hurley. How long have you been there?
Is that Iris?
Honestly, I went to the main entrance especially to meet you there.
Ah, Iris, my dear, I do apologize. But wait until I tell you what happened. The pair made utter fools of themselves.
What happened?
As you know, I have a penchant for disguise. I was hiding in this room dressed as a bailiff. But these don'ts didn't notice my presence at all. Can you imagine, Iris? Would you credit it?
I'm not sure, really.
I beg your pardon?
I'm sorry, Ellie, but you just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really ought to be careful about that. It's going to land you in trouble one day.
I'll be careful. Ouch.
Anyway, it's such a shame. I was hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight, but you won't be able to come, will you? Don't look like I'm gonna be going anywhere for a while.
She's going to prison for years. Thank you guys so much for watching. No, I can't stand that. It's annoying.
You heard Judge's Pat, I got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All them offences.
Who gives a damn about offenses? Do crimes, do crimes.
What was again? Breaking, entering, taking a bog troller's stuff and what lug, blah 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 blah.
The man who he broke an entry to is dead. Who's gonna complain? This thing you find is basically being a pickpocket is the main offense. Calm yourself, Renosuke.
But divin ain't no offense.
It's a job, innit? It is a job, innit? I do think so.
Still, it has got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Otto?
Well, no, but I was never a pickpocket. I wasn't actually in real life.
Well, anyway, I reckon I can make a change. I'm gonna do something for all them lot like me from the slums. Something that makes a difference from.
That's a wonderful idea, Ginny, and I'm sure you can do it. What is this? What is it? Oh no!
Nothing.
Miss Gina Restray? The prison carriage has arrived, ma'am. Come with me to the rear gate at once. Didn't think I was gonna have to do this. I will literally kill all of you! You will die! You're gonna go to hell and you die.
Right, well, looks like I'm off then.
Yes, goodbye, Gina. And good luck. And, oh, God, get us one more time, Gina! Our girl! Oh, she's setting up. There's a big setup to this gun, isn't there? What was that for?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say, so.
It's very hard for kids to express, like, what they want to say. My contract was up in the school I'm working in just a few weeks back, and one of like it's a slight story here that I feel like, you know, maybe you guys want to hear, but like this kid like was like wanted to say goodbye, but she didn't know how to say goodbye, and she's very you know, doesn't like to show her like emotions or whatever. So I was walking by and she goes I have something to say, but I don't know how to say it, and I was like okay, we'll write down this piece of paper, and literally she wrote on the piece of paper just the word goodbye, and I'm like, that's what kids can be like sometimes. It's very hard for them, especially if they have something happen in their life that's none of, you know, my business. You know, but you have to kind of just tiptoe around that anyway. Sometimes it can be hard. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hit the road missing from your vocabulary, Mr. Stray. On occasions such as this, she doesn't have to say thank you. I would recommend a simple thank you. She doesn't have to say it. She doesn't have to say it.
Oh. Oh, yes. It's a good advice, Ginny.
She doesn't have to say thank you.
Right. I see. Well.
Oh, you have lovely hair.
Thanks, Otto.
Girl, anytime. Anytime, any place. Oh my God. Oh. Thank you for everything, what you've done, for believing in me. Girl, I believe in you any day of the week. Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina. Jesus, man. She made it easy to believe in her. Well, there she goes. Sorry, I'll read that again. There she goes. Wonderful to ever see her again, hopefully.
Oh, I nearly forgot about it, but I bought a paper outside. It's a special edition. This trial is all over the front page. Pickpocket is evidence of innocence proven. Isn't it wonderful?
You should have shown it to Gina, Iris. She would have been thrilled.
Oh no, how silly of me. But anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news?
Not again.
Well, what do you say, Bruno? Hurley?
As usual, I think I'd rather get bad news out of the way first. Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news.
And there you have it. How people answer that question says a lot about them, doesn't it?
Let's not go there.
Alright then, let's maybe start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped. It was record level of rainfall apparently.
Well, that is good news indeed. We can journey back in greater comfort.
Alright then, what's the bad news? The huge storm has left the seas very choppy.
The channel in particular is awful, so sailing out of Dover has been delayed by a day or more. Susato? No! We may get to see Susie go!
But, there won't be a train, surely. We couldn't be that lucky.
Who do you think I am, Mr. Naruto?
Mr. Sholmes?
I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for a special express. If we hurry now, we shall be there in no time for dinner. In time for dinner. And I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole.
The great detective does it again.
Indeed he does. I happen to be aware of a number of rail transport directors' foibles.
What?
I merely made knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily laid on the locomotive elementary. Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people that way.
What are we waiting for then? To London Victoria?
Are you serious? We're actually going to see Susato? That took somewhat longer than I anticipated.
Susie's boat must be about to leave now. Miss Susato, where are you?
Oh, Miss Susato, where are you? She just standing there in like the most beautiful like light ever.
Over there, it looks like she's reading something. My diary.
What the? Hold it.
Miss Susato, wait! What are you doing?
Okay, so I was right. She's coming. Yeah, like I said, she was coming. Of course, she was going to be coming back into the scene at some point.
We came as soon as we could after the trial, I mean. We heard that sailings are being delayed due to the bad weather, you see. Oh, I see. Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go? It went well. She was acquitted. That's wonderful. Really wonderful news.
Oh, that music's so good. How are you feeling?
The book you brought to throw into the sea. It was your Encyclopedia of British Law, wasn't it? Oh dear. I was hoping you hadn't seen that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now, girl. You saved the trial. This is my final. This is my say. My well. It was. So I was saying my final farewell. You're saying goodbye to law? You, Susato-san?
Would I be correct in assuming it's because of the peephole, Miss Susato?
I deliberately altered the scene of a crime, and then I tried to hide that fact.
What I did is utterly unforgivable. Now I forgave it like a while back.
That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie? On the evening of the incident, Mr. Sholmes had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember. Oh yes, we had a wonderful time. Well, Gina gave us this little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of the pickpocketing, I mean. That was so much fun. I stole Runo's armband. Yes, please, don't do that again, Iris. That band's very important to me. Well, if it's so important, you should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice it for ages. On a whim, I thought it would be fun to see if I could take the cat flapper-mat, so I put it on my sleeve. Really? And then I rather forgot about it until I found myself in Mr. Windybank's shop with it later at night. I see. And then?
The Skulking Brothers are here!
Mr. Sholmes, leave me!
Mr. Rudo!
Right. After Mr. Naruto left the shop, I started to think that the door started to play on my mind. The storeroom door, you mean? Yes, if Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it could only be behind that door. And at that moment, the little device that I had on my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina, I simply had to know. So, I used the cat flapper mat to make the people in the door. As captured in the photographic print of the shop. By one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
Indeed, it was of first importance at that point. Precisely when the peephole was made, that information would prove to be Mr. Naruto's greatest weapon. Though naturally, without proof, it would have been amounted to nothing.
But I looked through the hole in the door. The sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started to run through my mind. I remember that trial 2 months earlier. The trial of Magnus McGilded. I thought about how he had manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then, a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because, from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Windybank. Even though I was sure she would never have done such a thing. You worry about the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime? That's right. But then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in the case. What do you mean? Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of the locked room. For someone to claim to have witnessed it, there would have to be a way to see beyond the door. For which
a peephole would be the very thing.
Only the people I'd made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the crime would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference.
But the possibility of rather ingenious trap was there, was it not? A trap? Is that why she did it?
Is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that you made the peephole to anyone, not even to the police. I know. I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong, a criminal offense even. That's why I decided to confide in Mr. Sholmes. If Mr. Riddle was completely backed into a corner with no other possible means of escape, the truth about the people could save him. That was my plan.
Yeah, I think we got all this, right? Like, I think they're explaining it again, but we understood this is why she did it.
But then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began?
My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade. You could have been disbarred if you'd been seen to have knowingly tampered with the crime scene. So Mr. Sato decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. For your sake. And Mr. Stray.
Mr. Zato, the truth is, when it happened, I did it because I'd lost little of my faith in the law.
Yeah, we got that too.
I was worried about the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime. But the moment I allowed myself to think that is the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant.
Yeah, she explained it. We got this. Yeah, I understand. Like, I understand they want to explain it, make sure from her own words, and I think that's very important,
What you did isn't comparable to what he did, not at all. Graydon is the one who lied in the witness stand using that people's way to implicate Gina. And besides, if the people inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not sure that we would have been able to, that she would have been acquitted in the end. Mr. Zato, what you did, you saved Gina's life. Well, with your kind words, Mr. Naruto, you've saved me too from my regrets.
My girl. Well, we must all be thankful to Mr. Stray. Freedom has been assured.
Yes, exactly.
Although some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on my mind, I'm sure.
But the revelation that the music box disc contains secret messages, Mr. Naruto, was a triumph to work that out. I'm full of admiration. Well, actually, that argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was. Oh? It wasn't? There was a communications officer among the jury, remember, you see, a telegraph operator, and she said that the majority of the sound in the disc were meaningless tones.
Yeah, we got that. As one would expect, after all, we are talking about secret government communications. No doubt they were written in the cipher to avoid being readily understood, should they have been intercepted. So then, we could never have hoped to understand the message anyway. Nonsense, my dear fellow. It's quite zero pipe problem, I assure you. Asugai? Asugai. Asugai. That was from this... Right? Wasn't that from this game? Was that I was about to say, was that Kazuma's relative with the mustache, but then that would be Kazuma too, right? Was that Kazuma's last name? What did you just say? Oh, I just said Asugai. Does that mean the word something to you? Means something? Asugai was the name of my best friend. What? Oh my... What if... Yes, I talked about this earlier. It was the guy with the mustache. I wrote down during the trial before when the message was playing on the music box. She transcribed it on the fly. She really is a genius. I thought the message probably wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. But whenever I tried, the words didn't just seem to make any sense. That is, in English at least. Oh. It suddenly occurred to me, you see, there's more than Morse code, not just English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added to Morse code using their own way of language. You're so great, Iris. I don't believe it. Wait, so it's Kazuma. What did Kazuma do? That's right, I've only actually seen charted Japanese Morse code once before. But I think it's based on the Iroha panagram, isn't it? And you mean to say that in Japanese Morse code the message says Asugai? I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all the Japanese Morse code. Iris, would you let me see that? Mrs. Otto, do you know it? Do you know Morse code? Yes, I spent some time studying it. As I'm quite sure Morse code become ever more important in international communications. What does it say then? Be that as it may, Iris, show me the message. Show her! Of course. What does it say? What can this possibly mean? Say it! Say it! Please say it! Say it! Please! There's no doubt in this message is written in Japanese Morse code. What does it say? So the British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications? What does it say? The message appears to be a list of 4 people's names. Say it! Say it, girl! Why are you trying to say it? Kazuma Asugai. A Shin? I don't recognize the name. T. Gurison. Gregson? Tobias Gregson. What is happening? And what's his name doing on the secret government communications as well? I'm sorry for trying to rush Suzato, but like, she like, I could not wait. And the last name. What's the matter, Miss Suzato? Miss Suzato! Tell me, girl! It's just so strange, so unexpected. Tell me! What is it? Tell me. Please. The last name is... What? Wilson. John H. Wilson. You mean... Oh my God.
It says only J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. Then, after the 4 names, it reads, if I translate from Japanese, that is all 4. And that ends the message, or rather, the end of what you noted down, Iris.
What the hell?
I just can't believe it. Who would have ever thought that those discs contain Japanese Morse code? Not to mention the strange list of some disturbingly familiar names.
It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan.
So, Daddy could be in Japan then. Where's Susie and Runo come from? Oh, well... No, it's not very likely, really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and must be a lot of J's among them. Professor John H. Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yuma University. But we can't tell Iris about that now. We just can't.
Yeah.
This is so strange. Somehow in solving the case of Mr. Winterback's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave.
Big reveal.
I do wonder if perhaps it's a dark cave that we shouldn't be going wandering inside. Girl, let's go.
I thought they were about to call me a hoe. And I was like, hold up a second. It's not my profession, but I respect it. Okay?
Oh dear, the ship is going to set sail soon. Yes, it seems so. So what are we doing? We all going to Japan? I'll set on the steamship first to port in Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change onto a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan. You're really going then, Susie?
We wish you a safe passage, Miss Susato.
Thank you so much. I wish you all the very best.
Miss Susato,
I'd hoped you'd always be at my side, to guide me and support me. Mr. Naruto. Please, come back soon. As far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best the
very best judicial assistant in the world. It's very sweet. Very, very sweet.
I'm quite sure
I'll be back before you know it, hopefully.
Really? Susie? Oh, now don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise I've yet to fulfill. A promise? About your manuscript. Oh yes, the Hound of Baskervilles. Well, I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise.
Definitely, Iris. Music is fantastic.
Mr. Naruto? Yes? Do you remember the first time we met?
Susato takedown? Yes, of course. On the SS Buddha. When I dragged out from that wardrobe was still half asleep. See, that's the thing. I remember everything from this game. Even though I didn't play it for like 4 months, I remember everything.
You know very well what I'm talking about after that. It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, I somehow felt straight away that you were the perfect person to continue Kazuma-san's great legacy. Mr. Zato. My instincts were right. I really want you to believe. No, I'm sure that I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
It's, you know, like the thing is, it's hard to say goodbye to anyone that you care about. Oh, we're getting animated cutscene style? No. How about don't do that? How about I don't need this? How about I'm gonna cry?
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least.
Oh.
Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey.
I hate goodbyes like this because they always make me feel so sad. Don't run around the boat. That's even sadder. That's so sad.
Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective.
Oh.
I'm sure
This is
there'll be
our- don't do
trials
this.
and tribulations ahead,
Oh!
Of course there will. But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around.
Oh my god. Get off that fiddle there, buddy.
After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
Ow, 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 ow. Oh my god. That's such a sweet ending. Ah! Don't be doing. Why are we back here? That was the perfect way to. Your credits should have rolled there. That was perfect. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have some rather awkward news. The railway company has decided to sue over the Special Express train, apparently. Dear Christ. It's such a commotion on the line. All the trains are away to the station. I stand by it. The credit should have rolled there. But really, we should never have made it to Dover in the time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything and how it was all your fault. I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Mrs. Otto. You love defending yourself in Okay, I was wrong. It's alright, I'm perfectly happy to testify. He really didn't look like the sort of man who would do something so outrageous. See? Oh my god! The liar! Mr. Sholmes? Yes? A word, if you don't mind. Oh god. Why, certainly, any word you like. Below it out, my dear fellow. Oh yes, I love when there's words and no one will use. Then, I really must say.
Objection.
Oh, look at that's perfect. That was perfect. He needs to go to the bathroom still. Wait, does he defend himself with the thing now? Okay, let's talk about this. I want to say that, like, first of all, I think it's important to get, you know, the talk about the elephant in the room, the beautiful, lovely elephant that I love dearly. You know, my main criticism of this game throughout the whole game was that the pacing is crazy. Sometimes in this game, characters will spend 20 lines of dialogue explaining something that's either already been explained, we already know, or something's already, like you'd even tell there, like, Susanna was talking about something where, like, has already been shown. We know that's how she feels, and I feel like they could, you know, you could explain in a few or less words, but of course in the ending you kind of, like, let people go off because that's the way it is. I feel like, personally, I changed my views a little bit on that because I think that I don't care anymore. And that's just it. I do miss Susie and her lovely Japanese breakfast. Oh my god, hold on a second, they're saying stuff. I'm so sorry I missed that. I'm so sorry. They're gonna be saying stuff. Okay, I'm so sorry I missed that, guys. I'm looking at the stream but, like, kind of talking at the same time. Witness, your testimony is riddled with contradictions. Oh, they're just gonna, okay. Oh my gosh, these guys. Okay, this is stuff we've already seen before. Okay, yeah, of course. Yeah, well, like, as I'm saying,
Witnesses, my courtroom is no place for your petty arguments.
yeah, I think that this is a fantastic game. I played The Last of Us Part 1 before, and I remember I really disliked a lot of aspects of it. And I changed my tune on the criticism of that game because it's still not my favorite game in the world, but because I just don't care.
I've done nothing wrong, and all I did was give walk eyes off Spring Refuge in my pocket. A man brings some kids on board, and suddenly he's a hardened criminal. That's not fair.
He's great. He was great. Great characters, really great characters. Just being honest, I just don't care about my former criticism. And I look back at the criticism now, and it's like, I didn't need to say it as much as I did, even though I felt that way and still do feel that way in a lot of aspects. I didn't need to say it as much as I did, because who gives a crap at some point? Scientific investigation will be the gold standard. Okay. I dream of a world governed by tenets of order and discipline. I bet you do. Like a great clock, in fact, those hundreds of parts mesh together in perfect unison. I bet you do. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have but 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment. let's just talk about the amazing stuff in this game. Again, art is incredible, gorgeous. Music is beautiful. It's sometimes haunting, sometimes like it's unforgettable. Oh, it's the boys, Scripsy. No, this ranch magazine's out and I'm in it again. Whenever I say that one line she wrote now, I'll get a standing ovation. Wanna hear it? Not bad, I suppose, for an amateur. A little bit of tea as well. I can relate on that. A little bit of tea. Her ladyship puts me to shame. I thought the characters were absolutely incredible too. I thought that every single time you meet a new character in this game, it's like an exciting time. It's almost like a bolt of adrenaline because like you're going to get some new ideas behind it. The trials are really tense. Oh, this fool. Been visiting the old girl on a daily basis, of course. Joni, my old jailbird. Must say, battling with those belly stars every day, it does wonders for the dicky. Managing rather well with the housework too. I got maid business taped up, I'd say. Hoping the gossiping neighbors don't realize the man of the house is his own maid. Who cares, dude? Yeah, I thought this was really, really good. If I had to give it a rating, it'd be 8 out of 10. It really would be. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. Yeah, like, you know, art, music, everything really, really good. Oh my god, look, it's the only good cop in the game. Mr. Rowley's back at the beat again.
There's nothing to enjoy Modi Station hunting out small change in the gutter.
Oh, these are great. Adorable. Absolutely adorable.
I'm a lovely wife.
Absolutely adorable, these two. Pat and Rowley. Great character designs too. That's the thing, the character designs in this game are incredible. Also, like, you know, Skate, when he was talking at the end there, he had a British accent. Dude, like, you've been in England for like a week. Like, please don't lose your Japanese heritage. Gina's in jail.
Get her out of there. Looks like I'm going to be doing time for a bit now. Boris comes every day for a natter, so it ain't too boring. She's always going on about all them cases what Sholmes is looking into. Criminal investigations are kind of interesting when you get into them.
Absolutely ridiculous that this girl is in prison. I don't care what anyone says. Argue with the wall. See that wall over there? Argue with it. Yes, I know someone bringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime, but regrets, please.
Give over, bruv, that ain't the Ash we used to know. We got Tommy to explain the comeback of Miveltine and Skulkin's milk run, right? Oh, look, the boys are back in town.
He did the frickin' pose with them. Jesus Christ. That's the one redeeming thing about this guy. Oh, great. Remember this room? Oh! This past 6 months has been a time I shall remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes and wonderful encounters. I've come to realize that what life is all about. Naruto-san, I promise. Your assistant will return to you one day. But for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well. Yep. Oh my god, that is amazing. That is one of the most beautiful pieces of art I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Great. We're gonna get the full credits now, aren't we? No need for this. No need for that now. This is amazing, by the way. Like a beautiful way to do the credits. Don't kill me for saying this. Even the credits are paced weird. And I like it. I'm here for it. Oh, they're passing by like all the character models? Is that what we're doing here? Because they're the two like bailiffs from the first, when we were in Japan, right? There's one of the worst detectives who ever lived.
There's the guy who talked like this.
Yeah, some really good characters. That's the girl that did nothing wrong, wasn't it? Yeah. I had a fantastic time with this. And I think that, like, you know, one of the things that tends to happen when I play games, usually, like, people will, you know, people say, like, you have a very positive outlook on things, which I think I do. I do, and I'd like to have a positive outlook on things. But I think that, like, whenever I do criticize something, because I have such a positive outlook on everything, it seems like way bigger than it is. Me saying the pacing is weird, I don't think is that big of a deal, but I guess it's because I said it so many times. But these trials were great. I think that even, like, the moment, like, not all of them were trials, I know, but, like, I think they were still really good. Like, even being on that boat was really cool too. Cosima left him walk on his own. And this is where he's going to meet up with Susato. Is Susato going to walk with them? That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That's how you do it. And she's all alone too, and she's like, yo, can I come with you? Oh my god, they know they're going to break my heart with this. With the sword. And there she is. That's gorgeous. What a trial that was. Oh my god. And I was Shoshone was going to come in as well. We have made, like, really good friends in this game too. We have. I really like the theme of this game, as I should say before, like, because right now I'm just kind of in relaxing mode, because I did say what I wanted to say throughout the first portion of the credits. But I do think that the themes in this game of, like, you know, I think the class divide is so huge in this game. And I know some people might say, well, like, you know, you're reading too much into it. But I don't know, I disagree. I really do disagree. Mostly just because, like, I think that, like, they're trying to send a message as it pertains to, like, Graydon. Graydon, like, you know, did nothing to help poor Gina. And I think I already talked about it. I don't have to talk about this at great length anymore because I talked about it at the start. This is a great cast of characters. I think it's one of the best casts they've had in any. I've played 4 Ace Attorney games now. And out of them, I'd say Trials and Tribulations is still my favorite. Like, it's gonna be so hard to top that game. Then it's probably like Justice for All, this, and then the first Phoenix Wright game is probably my favorites of the game. And I guess to say to you guys, thank you so much for being a fabulous audience. And I'll never forget the fact that you waited for so long for this and still are here. Capcom, one of the greatest development companies. Look at this. This is a beautiful credit scene. I love this. Really great. There it is, and there's one more game. Finn. Whoever Finn is, I'm sure the dedication, he appreciates it. Holy shit, what the hell? Fleeting Farewell. Oh my god, that's beautiful. It changed. So you can select your adventure now. So resolve is the next one. And of course we have special contents. Let's check this out for a second here now. Gallery? Portraits, we have, oh my god. Dude, he was gonna have glasses at one point? Actually, I kind of like it. Suzato. Great image of these two. So that was gonna be his original look. That is, look at that with him with like Iris. I love seeing this stuff. The original design is really cool too. Kind of prefer it. I don't know, it's cool. What do you guys think? Kazuma Asagai. There's no way this guy's. Oh, they were just. They tried it. Oh, that's kind of like design 101 though. Try putting glasses on them. You know what I mean? That's always been a thing, hasn't it? Van Zeeks. Let's see. They're gonna put glasses on him too. No. That's such a great design though. I'm so sorry. I'm probably gonna be raked across the coals of saying this is way better than this. That's such a cool design. That's not as cool, but you get what I'm saying. They went through a lot with this guy. Miscellaneous, the title image, character collage, Mikotoba, Ouchie. Really great. Oh, he has legs? They have legs? Beautiful couple. And then we have, oh my god, you don't unlock it until you do this. Brothers of Ambitious Dreams. Since they were already commemorative group pictures at the end of each game, I sought to avoid the same themes and motifs in these pictures. I also didn't want to take away from the good vibes after finishing each title, so I gave it a lot of thought. In the end, I settled on using just Rinosuke and Kazuma as the two of their embodiment of the great Ace Attorney. The illustration tells of the hope and ambition in their hearts just before they set for sail for Great Britain, standing shoulder to shoulder, their turn towards the same future at the start of their journey. Looking at this after experiencing the events and adventures, it's like going back in time, and it stirs up a lot of emotions. I drew a similar picture once for an adventure art book, but this piece was going to be used in the game. I made it more like a snapshot of something that might have happened in the story itself. So wait a second. Can you talk about this then? This is a very early illustration. I came up and rejected a lot of different ideas myself for a long period of time. I submitted only the one that resonated with most to me, to Mr. Takumi, who gave the go-ahead to proceed. Among the main cast, the characters underwent a unique development process. I didn't show any of my designs for the prosecutor, including the drawings from the stage of the process. So we can get we could probably do this one day where we go through every single one of these, because I think that's actually like super interesting. Or maybe we should have been going through it. Look at this. What about glasses, Rinosuke? Male hairstyles during the period in Meiji Japan were nowhere near as diverse as they are today. They were cropped short and side parted and swept back. These are all fantastic hair designs. I remember drawing these sketches to distract myself when I was stuck on the hairstyle. It turns out they became useful for explaining how the game works in the proposal documents. Is there anything I want to look at before we go? Like in terms of information? Rolly and Pate, there are a lot of pairs of witnesses who appear together in the game, but I have a firm idea of how I wanted these to interact from the outset, so I actually worked on the backwards from there. I designed with a single unit, two people moving as one, and the scarf goes around both their necks is a good example of that. They were modeled on the idea of dolls. Wooden marionettes and porcelain dolls are supposed to have fantasy world images despite being virtually penniless, to bring out their genuineness and their sweet personalities. I wish I could design like this, man, to be like, oh man, you know, I wish I could be like, oh, they're designed after porcelain dolls. My character's like, it looks like a person I used to know.
Objection! Hold it! I will become a lawyer. I have
What?
to. I will become a lawyer. I have to.
Oh, really?
I mean, inconsistency, sir.
Why didn't they use these?
Your testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Why didn't they
I'm
use
sure
these?
everyone knows by now who it is.
Hold it! Susato Mikotoba, judicial assistant to the defense.
Her voice is amazing.
Yes, I fully understand.
Why didn't they
It
use
really is
these?
a dream come true. We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san. Prepare for a Susato takedown!
Oh my god, I would have been scared.
Objection! Now, let us engage in the art of deduction.
That's pretty much the voice I'd give him as well.
So everyone, let us begin. It would seem the truth is... Yes, my mind is quite made up now.
Objection! It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My
Oh my
name
God.
is Iris Wilson. The tea's brewed, and I have some freshly baked biscuits as well.
They could have used these sparingly.
Look, I used this.
Oh, where's Gina?
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The
That's close to what I was doing too.
refuses to accept this decision.
So we have Taylor. Wait, we could change his outfits? Oh, the second one. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my lord. Escapades? Oh, it's the... Wait, what? There's other games? Is this a... Let me just see this for a second. Okay. Just saying. We'll have to do this, a few of those too. We'll have to do a few of those. This is all incredible. It's all super incredible. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that was a weird ending, but we'll see you very soon. Thank you.